You might need MIDI if you ever hairsprayed your bangs into a waterfall, layered slouch socks, tied a scrunchie to the bottom corner of your t-shirt, or tried to go for a run with a CD player. If this took you down memory lane, you might need MIDI. Perimenopause can start 10 years before you actually go through menopause. So for some women, that can be as early as 35. Nobody ever told you that? Well, nobody told us either. That's why we built MIDI. If you're experiencing symptoms like night sweats, weight gain, or just generally don't feel like yourself anymore, you may be in perimenopause. But here's some good news. With the right care, these symptoms are treatable. Book a virtual visit with a menopause specialist at MIDI. Visit joinmidi.com to schedule with an expert who gets it. Specialist-led care, virtual visits, insurance eligible. Midlife needs MIDI. Results may vary. Medications prescribed only if clinically appropriate based on a consultation with a clinician. Insurance coverage varies. Check with your plan for coverage.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
In today's episode of The Bridge, I am giving you a brief overview of something called the 10 Keys to Healthy Aging. And why is it that I'm doing that? Well, for a couple of reasons. First, it's a program that I actually used to work on, be a huge advocate for, and was an author on back in the day at the University of Pittsburgh when I worked for the Centers for Disease Control Prevention Research Center. But there's a reason that I want to tell you about the 10 keys to healthy aging today and where that's taking us. This is actually a precursor to the first of our many, many amazing guest interviews to come. But I'm going to be explaining in this episode why the 10 keys matters and what that has to do with our guest interviews. So let's dive on in. Welcome to The Bridge, the show that bridges the gap between Eastern and Western medicine, science and spirituality, physical and energetic health. If you're a leader seeking to heal from within, ultimately achieving the pinnacle of health and well-being for your mind, body, and spirit, then rest assured, this show is tailored just for you. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Rogers, the Sherlock Holmes of health. I'm a trailblazing Harvard-trained epidemiologist turned transformational health coach. Basically, I find the clues that every other healthcare practitioner missed because they were looking in the wrong place. Welcome to The Bridge, a transformational health podcast with yours truly, Dr. Elizabeth Rogers. I'm so happy you're here today in episode 7. This is going to be the last solo episode before I start bringing in some guest episodes. And I have so many guests already lined up waiting for you. And they're all insanely amazing and extraordinary people. So I'm really excited to start integrating those episodes onto the show. But I'm doing this episode as a precursor because I'm going to ask a lot of my guests a very specific question to start the episode. And I actually want to share with you where that question comes from and why I'm asking it. So you'll see when I talk to our guests, a lot of them, I'm going to start out with asking them the question, if there were 10 keys to healthy aging, to sustaining optimal health and longevity, what would you say one of them is? And wait until you hear the incredible answers and the wide range of different answers that I get from all of our guests and the incredible conversations that develop from there. But I want to tell you why I'm asking that question. So there is a program called the 10 Keys to Healthy Aging. And back in the day when I was a doctoral student and working at the University of Pittsburgh, where I was getting my doctorate, I went and did my Harvard training postdoc after that. When I was at the University of Pittsburgh, I was madly in love with the work that I did. And I worked specifically at the Centers for Disease Control Prevention Research Center. And this Prevention Research Center was housed at the University of Pittsburgh. And what was unique about our Prevention Research Center is that we had one of the only 2 centers in the world that had a specialty and expertise in healthy aging. And that is where I worked. So healthy aging, health, longevity has always been a passion of mine. And while I was working here, a lot of our faculty members, in conjunction with the recommendations from the US Preventive Services Task Force, created a program called the 10 Keys to Healthy Aging. And it is an evidence-based program that gives older adults tools to reduce the risks of chronic disease and increase the likelihood of staying healthier and having a high quality of life as you continue to age. So I became a major advocate and nerd for this program. In fact, I'm proud to say that I'm one of the authors of the current and most up-to-date 10 Keys program that you can find online at the CDC's website. So if you go look that up, you will see me there as one of the authors. But this program included both online and downloadable programs. I used to go out into the community and deliver the 10 Keys to Healthy Aging, both in the research setting, the real world setting, and the clinical practice setting. So I even used to go to libraries and just volunteer and deliver the program. That's how much I believed in it. And it was an extremely important program. However, my perspective on health and what it means to be healthy and well has changed a lot over the years. So I thought it'd be fun for me to share with you what the 10 Keys to Healthy Aging that we designed through this program at the CDC and at the University of Pittsburgh really are. And now you'll see, and then I'll explain why I'm asking this specific question. So as I look back now on the 10 Keys to Healthy Aging, what I realize is that a lot of them align with one of the fundamental problems of our current healthcare system, which is that they focus on helping you manage yourself in the place you're in, not necessarily improving your health and well-being. Not all of the keys, though. Some of them I still wholeheartedly align with and agree with. So I think it's time that we rewrite the keys to healthy aging. I think it's time that we rewrite the keys to health and longevity. Right? The 10 Keys program is trademarked, so I probably should even be careful just continuing to say 10 Keys to Healthy Aging. I'm not trying to rewrite them or reinvent them, but I think it's now time that we shift our perspective and learn what the real keys are to health and longevity. And so you'll see that's why I'm asking the question on this show. I'm trying to pull out those themes, those real keys for all of us. Let me tell you before we close this short episode what the 10 keys really were. Number 1 was lowering your systolic blood pressure. Number 2 was stop smoking. It's still important to not smoke. Number 3 was to participate in cancer screenings. That one we can discuss. Number 4, get immunized regularly. Again, we can discuss that. Number 5, regulate blood glucose. Number 6 was to lower your LDL cholesterol. So to those of you non-science folks out there are 2 different types of cholesterol. And actually, as an expert in subclinical cardiovascular disease, I would tell you there are actually more than just 2 types of cholesterol. But in a clinical setting, and to the best of the general population's knowledge, we really only talk about 2 types, which is the LDL cholesterol and HDL cholesterol. Now, they stand for high density lipoprotein and low density lipoprotein. But what you really need to know, and this is a great little trick that always helped me remember, is HDL is the quote unquote healthy cholesterol. LDL is the quote unquote unhealthy cholesterol. So we want to have more HDL than LDL in our bodies. So H healthy, you can remember that. But lowering your LDL cholesterol. Number 7, I still wholeheartedly agree with this as a key to health and longevity as well, is be physically active. Number 8 is to maintain healthy joints, bones, and muscles, which I feel like is just basically connected to number 7, right? If you're being physically active. And of course, there are other ways to maintain healthy bones, joints, and muscles other than being physically active. Number 9 is still the key of all 10 that I align with the most, other than staying and being physically active, is to maintain social contact. We'll talk about this on other episodes as well, but social support matters, you guys. In my doctoral dissertation and in my doctoral work, I studied social support and what that means, how it impacts our health and well-being and our ability to heal very closely. And I can tell you it matters, and the kind of support we have matters. The way in which we rely on others versus ourselves matters. So we'll tease apart social support throughout the episodes on this show, both in interviews with others and with myself. And key number 10 was to combat depression. Again, very important, but to me, interconnected to some of those other keys. So those were the 10 keys to healthy aging. And like I said, if you go on the CDC's website and look that up, and you find the info and scroll way to the bottom of the workbooks, yours truly is responsible for a lot of this material. And I'm still really proud of it. We worked so hard on this. I can't tell you how much love and true compassion went into this program. I worked with an incredible team at that time of researchers and colleagues and students who were just phenomenal. And they were like family to me. And we really cared about this stuff. So we really practiced what we preached to. And I'm really still very proud of that work. If anyone I ever worked with on those studies is ever listening to this, Lori, Joni, some of the students, Elsie and Haley in particular, just know I love you all dearly. And I will never, ever forget all the work that we did together and all the things that we all went through together, which stories for other days on other episodes. So that is the 10 Keys to Healthy Aging. Again, a fantastic program designed by the CDC at our Prevention Research Center, something I'm still very proud of. However, I think that it's time to rewrite the keys to health and longevity instead, because that's something different, right? So now that you know the story, now you'll understand the backstory to why I consistently ask that question in my guest interviews. And I'm excited to join you on the next episode with my first of many incredible guests, Madeline Einerson. And you'll see I'm bringing on a wide range of guests on the show, from doctors to other types of health professionals to just passionate leaders who have been through their own health stories. There's so many people for us to learn from. So I'm committed to bringing you the widest range of health perspectives that I can, so that you have an opportunity to learn from all of us. So let's dive into the first episode of many, many guests to come. I cannot wait to see you there, sending lots of love and positive energy all around. And hey, if any of you out there would like to share what you think is one of the most important keys to health and longevity, I'd love to know. Please send us an email at support@drelizabethrogers.com. And just a little note and reminder, if you're enjoying the show so far at all, then send us some good energy, because energy matters, and give us a 5-star review, maybe leave a positive review, or just recommend the show to a friend who you feel would align with our content. So in the meantime, like I said, sending lots of love and positive energy around. And I'm really excited to see you in our first guest interview. Thanks for listening to today's episode of The Bridge, a transformational health podcast with Dr. Elizabeth Rogers. To learn more about my work and ways you can get support to transform your own health, head to my website, drelizabethrogers.com. Don't forget, Rogers has a D and a G. You can find a link in the show notes too. I hope you can feel the big boost of positive energy I'm sending all around right now. Can't wait to connect with you on the next episode.